Yeah, I ain't worried about these clowns. Niggas ain't talking
I
about
see you,
nothing.
Caesar. Talk your
Man.
shit,
Hey,
homie.
man, they know what it is. Better not touch me. Yeah. Play with them, nigga. You don't play with me. Yeah.
Talk your shit.
Full court
Talk
press.
your shit.
Yeah.
Silverback cartel.
Niggas know what it is.
Talk your
Never
shit.
been to court.
Talk your
Yeah,
shit.
never
I
ran
ain't
from a
fucking with
nigga.
you.
Yeah. Hey, y'all know what it is? Talk your motherfucking shit. You know what I'm saying? The Caesar, Big Rome. You know I got a special guest in the house with me tonight. Y'all know how we do it. We gonna bring these streets to the house. Hey, why don't you just go ahead and introduce yourself to the people, let them know who you is, bro.
Man, it's young Curve Village pun off in the motherfucking house. No guns, knife in the right pocket.
Yeah, yeah.
100.
Hey man, so I know, you know what I'm saying, you kind of just, got out of going through something, man. Could you just, you know what I'm saying, kind of start like right there. We ain't gonna go all the way back yet. We just gonna start right there, like so far. Yeah, we ain't gonna go back there right there. We want to just get on, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the transition like after doing all them years and then getting back in the streets?
Man, it's all work.
It's all
It's
work.
all work. You know what I mean? Before I got out, you know what I mean, I started writing books. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had to put my books out there first. I got quite a few of them.
What's the name of your books?
A Lokish Lifestyle Part 1 and 2.
Locust Lifestyle, Part 1 and 2.
I got some more coming out. I got MOB.
Where can the people go find that?
That's on Amazon.
All right, Amazon.
Yeah.
So y'all go
what's up.
check that out.
Go get that.
Yeah, go to Paul Rich. It's Paul Pun Rich. You can go get that on Amazon.
All right.
Nice
Already.
read. It's Oklahoma history.
It's Oklahoma
Already.
history. All right. I'm gonna have to check. I'm gonna have to check that out too,
Oh, yeah,
man.
we gotta dig
I'm gonna have
in.
to check that out. I got to get that.
Yeah, we got to dig in.
So yeah, just
I got quite a few of them that's coming out. You know what I mean? I got MOB. I didn't want to just give it to the Crip side. You know what I mean?
Right.
I wrote MOB for Murder One Bloods and things like that.
Right.
I got part 1 and 2 already done. I'm trying to get Nardi B to write. Co-write part 3 with me. It's a trilogy. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I got him gonna get on that with me and things like that.
all right, man. Yeah.
yeah.
I got all different type of things.
I like how you keep it official, homie.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
You know what I mean?
Writing and stuff. So is that kind of
Yeah.
like a thing that you always done did, or is that something you just found out when you was in the penitentiary?
Well, I've always read. You know what I mean? I'm a reading motherfucker. You know what I mean? I done read all type of books, thousands of books.
Right.
So really, it got to when your motherfucking stomach touching your back. You know what I mean? And you be like, man, I ain't trying to be doing nothing on this yard.
Right.
But at the time, I was in Fort Worth and things like that. Nah, better yet, I was in Forest City, Arkansas, and man, the motherfucker challenged me to write the book. This nigga named Kevin Bullitt. I think that's his name. He wrote like Court in the Streets and things like that. And he was like, man, I see all these Oklahoma niggas respect you around here. You know what I mean? He was like, maybe you got something to say. I said, if I wrote something, man, I'm writing Oklahoma history. I ain't writing all that old fake shit like Clifford Robinson been doing. Clifford
Right.
Johnson or whatever his name is, nigga Spud.
Right.
Red Rag nigga.
Right.
That nigga fucking Chomo and shit. You know
Right.
what I mean? So I wasn't writing all that shit. You know what I mean? Cause he had wrote one book, man, and it really pissed me off when I read the book.
Right.
And it was Kingpin of Oklahoma. Whack ass book.
Right.
What was it about it, man,
What was
that you didn't like?
Well, we have north side, south side, like the north be going against south side and shit like that, you know what I mean? Like some Memphis or some type of shit, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It was
You like that
nothing-
ain't even.
No,
then-
that ain't how we rock.
Yeah, and then he put like Curve Village niggas was like his soldiers or something, you know what I mean? Like I call Curve Village niggas, they come do my dirty work. And I'm like, what? Nah, that shit pissed me off when I read the book, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Okay.
So I'm like, and then I remember this nigga, you know what I mean? We was like in the county, it was like maybe like 99. It was around like 99 because I remember Mark Dawg from Lincoln Village and them was all off in there.
Right.
This nigga let this old ass nigga slap him over a domino game and didn't do nothing. You know what I mean? I was like, nah. This bitch ass nigga right here, not official. You know what
Not
I mean?
official.
You ain't got no reason. You like you're a California nigga, but all your books like Gangster Twist, all these old type of things. You know what I mean? You writing about these nigga Keno them from the country. You a red rag nigga. Why you writing about these 4-6 niggas and all this old shit?
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Trying to make it like he was in on the jewelry store type shit. You know what I'm saying? All that old type of shit. So a nigga really wasn't feeling that.
Right.
So I locked down in my room and shit. Got me a few little jumpers. You know what I mean? And went to writing. I wrote like 700 something pages, man, in like 13 days.
Damn.
And like I was gonna get with
That's
Wahida
impressive.
Clark. I was gonna get with Wahida Clark. Man, she was gonna try fuck a nigga, give a nigga $1 a book. You know, the book game is a hustle. If a motherfucker really know it. It's just like say you get like you can get your books cheap. You know what I'm saying? My book is $20, you know what I'm saying? So you getting your money's worth off of Amazon, you know what I mean? I'm giving you 740 pages. So
That's nice.
it's like you got this book. When you buy the book, say you buy 100 books at like $3,000, you get 100 books about $3,000 because you can buy your books cheaper. Because you the one, if you self-publish and do everything like that, you get them dirt cheaper.
Okay.
So just say, for instance, like you pull up to the county, barbershops, everything like that, your book selling for $15, you know what I'm saying? You making like a $12, $11 profit up off this motherfucker, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got
Okay.
100 books, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
nice.
And you sell them for $15 a piece, you know what I mean? So you know,
Do the math.
yeah, you
Real
know what
talk.
I'm saying? So it'll make sense to you if you just wrote it, like if you just write them, you know what I'm saying? A lot of motherfuckers you're really not gonna make that much money like up off Amazon because I get like $7.90 a book.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because
Hey.
they put the book together and everything like that.
I want to ask you this. Now, you said the book you just wrote was 700 and something pages.
Yeah.
Well, tell me this, man. I mean, why didn't you cut that up some? You know what I'm saying, and then make your bag like that too? Because I mean, you gave a lot, man. I mean, you gave up a lot
Yeah.
of, and,
Yeah.
and if you gave up 700 pages, homie, that means you gave up some real game for free up in that bitch.
Yeah, I did, but like shout out to Crystal Perkins, you know what I mean? She was the one that helped me get on and things like that. She
Okay.
helped me self-publish and things like that.
Did you do pretty good? You know what I'm saying, on the sales of the book? and
Hell
everything?
yeah, I can show you on my phone. Nigga, that motherfucker got 5 stars.
That's what's up.
5 stars.
Hell yeah.
Congrats, homie. That's what's
You know what
up,
I mean?
man.
Yeah.
I love seeing shit like that.
Then, you know, like I did part
You got to
2.
win.
Like I did part 2 on it and things like that. Damn, I left my phone on that magnet. But like on the part 2, like I put the county on that motherfucker.
Okay.
Put on the front cover, you see Oklahoma County Jail, because that's
Yeah.
how I started off. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like sitting off in there and things like that. Just me having discussions and things like that, because at the time it was like me, Tar Heel, and a little up to so in the cell with each other. You know what I mean? And I was just, these niggas getting into it about onions, and like this nigga telling this nigga like, your breath smell like onions, and Lil O like, nigga, who's 6'0", nigga, got me fucked up. I was like, nigga, on the cool, your breath smell like that toilet water, nigga. You been on that toilet all motherfucking day, nigga. You know what I mean?
You talking about the homie Lil O?
Yeah,
R.I.P.
Larry Ramsey. Yeah.
Yeah, Larry Ramsey. Okay.
So it was, she wanted me to break the book down, right? But I didn't feel like breaking the book down, man, when it was so much history to put. Because I took it all the way back to like 86 when I started gangbanging, you know what I mean? So I brought it all the way from all the stories from then and things like that, all the way to the 90s and stuff like that. You know, I put my time in Raider and that motherfucker and everything like that.
Right.
And like, what I did, man, I brought everybody back. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, like my little brother Rover, rest in peace. He a main character off in it. My homie HK, he a main character off in it. You know, Big West Side. I brought everybody back that was dead to keep them living, because these was my niggas, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
I gave everybody life again, you know what I'm saying? In my shit, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
big shout out, man, to that,
Yeah.
man.
Real
So,
shit.
It was really just, you know, stories of telling motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, of things on how things was really going in the 90s when niggas really wasn't off the porch yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I got to read it.
Real shit.
I got to read
So-
it.
I do too.
It was just like, you know, then, you know what I'm saying, I switched it up and things like that. Like, when the dude, the main character name is Fabian Esteban, it was like I brought it back, like, from New York. He was like a New York kid, and he came to Oklahoma. He went to, like, Jackson Middle School.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And going to
Okay.
Jackson, it was like within 6 months, you know what I'm saying? This nigga was gangbanging like a motherfucker. He was,
Right,
He was
yeah.
on the south side. He was down the street from the Grove and shit like that.
Right.
And I just started it all like that. You know what I mean? you know, meeting niggas and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Things like that. So you know, it transitions over the time until we start selling weed and things like this, getting off into dope, get into pimping and things like that, you know what I
Right.
mean? Shout out to my nigga Young Brian, rest in peace too, you know what I mean?
Yeah, shout out.
You know, I put off in there, you know, me and Young Brian first knocked our first bitch, man, when we was 15.
Yeah.
Young Brian was like just like Young Brown was from 456 and things like that, but he really wasn't being accepted. But the nigga had a mouthpiece on him, man. And
Right.
we both used to be getting played by this bitch named Downtown Julie Brown. She was a white
Downtown
bitch.
Julie Brown.
When the bitch first hit us, man, at 7-Eleven, like down here on Britain Road, man, the bitch pulled a badge out on us, man, and took our work and everything, man. You know what I mean? And we caught the bitch down there on like 10th and Western.
Right.
I mean, and shit, it was a wrap from there. You know, she was just taking our little young dick. We just jumping up and down off in her pussy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
back
Brian,
then.
but
Yeah.
Brian was like, you know, he was going full-fledged with it. Next thing I know, I see Brian, this nigga in Levi's, cow, snakeskin boots, all this other shit. I'm like, nigga, what you doing? You know what I mean? Young Brian was like, man, I have to take this pimp shit for real, and I'm gonna take it on the road. You know what I mean? So I wrote about all that shit.
All
you know
that
what I
shit.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
So like when you was putting it together and shit, did you run through any kind of like, you know, hurdles like if you was giving somebody like, you know, advice on how to start if they wanted to write a book or something, what would you lead them to? Like how would they start that process?
Man, just get off in there and write. Even if you have to write, you know, read a book, man, just to get dialogue and things like that. But the best dialogue is your own life. Like, just say, for instance, when I was giving you a tattoo on your arm, when I was putting the 100 on your arm, it's just like, you know, that right there, only me and you know what, you know what I'm saying, what we was talking about that day and things like that.
Right.
And it's always on how I did things too, you know what I mean? Like, if I wanted you to meet me somewhere, I'm not saying it over the phone. I'm just gonna say, hey, Boosie, man, you remember that last time, man, where we did this or we did
Exactly.
that?
Meet me
You know
over
what I
there.
mean? Meet me there. Because
Yeah.
only me and you know that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's really, man, get your dialogue together, you know what I'm saying? Learn your little things and stuff. I used to have this little thing, man, that this teacher, man, when I was at I was at Terre Haute, Indiana. And the teacher used to say, like, fanboys, get your fanboys in order. You know what I mean? And it was like for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. You know what I mean? It was like fanboys, you know, like an acronym, but it was all the words that you need to put and like however, you know what I'm saying? Like conjunction sentences, you know what I'm saying? Like if you can put this sentence down here, you should be able to put the sentence up here and it'll still, you know, roll into
It
each
still
other.
makes sense, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I was looking at that and I'm like, yeah, all right, you know what I'm saying? So once you get all that like that, man, understood and things like that, man, go to writing. Man, you can put all your dialogue together, but, you know, narrate certain things. You know what I mean? Like you can narrate, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I was coming down to ES, you know what I mean? I'm down 23rd and this and this and that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man, I seen a couple of niggas over there, you know what I mean, that scissor hands are next to Justice and things like that. Man, but I seen a one pair of orange Dickies, so I'm like,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna pull up over there because them niggas may be over there deep.
Yeah.
A motherfucker gonna know what you saying.
What you saying? Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. If they from Oklahoma.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that's your audience who you appeal to. What really gets a person, man, is read all the book. Like I read Blake Carrington, Wahida Clark, you know, what's his name? Al Sadiq Banks and things like this. Man, read all these books, man, like from New York, New Jersey, North Carolina, Plex and them from Florida. You know what I mean? Read the dudes from like California. You got Arizona. You got dudes writing they stories from everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And these niggas, like, you know, when you off in the county and things like that on the yard and things, and you reading these books and you be like, nigga, let me get that Cartel Part 3. Nigga, you sweating the nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
About them books. You know what I mean? Because it's